Hello friends, the topic for today's discussion is method and approaches of teaching English. So let us first discuss what is method and then we'll go to discuss what is approach, and then we will also discuss today what is the difference between method and approach. So method is concerned with how to teach. In other words of Anthony, method is an overall plan or procedure for an orderly presentation of language material to the pupil. It is determined on the basis of the pupil mother tongue, cultural background, age, and objectives of teaching. Whereas approach is a broader term rather than method. It describes the nature of the subject matter to be taught. According to Anthony, approach states a point of view or philosophy or an assumption which one believes but cannot necessarily prove. Hence, it is axiomatic or a self-evident way of reaching the desired goal. So, in method, the importance is how to teach, and in approach the importance is on what to teach. This is the basic difference between method and approach. There is a very thin line of difference between method and approach. So first of all, let us discuss what is the difference between method and approach. Approach is axiomatic, study of self-evident truth. It states a point of view or philosophy or an assumption which one believes but cannot necessarily prove. Method is an overall plan based on some approach. In other words of Anthony, we can say that method is an overall plan for the orderly presentation of language material to be taught, and no part of which contradicts, and all of which based upon the selected approach. Thus, approach deals with assumption and method is a procedure based on some assumption. Let me repeat. Approach deals with assumption and method is a procedure based on some assumption. In this way, within one approach, there can be many methods. This is the basic difference between method and approach. Basically, we can say that method is an overall plan or procedure in which we can focus on how to teach, and approach is an assumption in which we focus on what to teach. So now we can say that method is realistic and approach is axiomatic. Now let us proceed to the techniques used in applying this method and approaches in teaching of English. Technique is a skill or a strategy to achieve a goal. It may be described as an implementational process of a method. It should be determined according to the method and approach used. The various techniques used by the teacher are question answer technique, drill technique, reading aloud, etc. Technique that gives the learner greater autonomy in language processing are role play, simulation, games, puzzles, etc. So this is all about the techniques used in the application of these methods and approaches of teaching English. So that was all about methods, approaches and techniques used in the teaching of English. Now, let me discuss in short the different methods used in teaching of English. These methods can be divided into old method and new method. In old method, there is translation cum grammar method and direct method. Whereas in new method, there is Dr. West's new method, substitutional method and bilingual method. In approach, there is structural approach, situational approach, linguistic communicative approach and eclectic approach. So these are the subdivision of methods and approaches used in teaching of English. So in our next class, we'll further discuss all the methods and approaches used in teaching of English in brief. So that was all for today. Thank you.